Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here with another edition of the Orns 10-minute take on Aston Villa 0, Watford 1. That was a win today for your Golden Boys. We got it done. One win makes a difference. For all of the Watford fan contingent that were understandably nervous and absolutely throwing in the towel after last week's abominable performance against Brighton, now 7 days later, your team has given you a reason to believe. And we must never stop believing. It's one game, but it's one very big win. And we must keep going here and build on this, which I think Watford will do on Wednesday. But look, we're not going to think about Wednesday right now. We are going to luxuriate in Saturday at Villa Park. We did the double over Aston Villa. And a very good performance today by your Golden Boys on both sides of the ball. Their defending was absolutely terrific today. Team defending, excellent. I think Emmanuel Dennis here was an extra special reason why. Obviously, he scored the goal, but why Watford won this game. His on-the-ball defending and off-ball defending was excellent. He was terrific, and I would definitely give him the go-ahead as man of the match. Now, look, I know some people have said Cathcart. I know some people have said Lauser. But you've got to look at the impact of Dennis here. He looked better than he has in a number of weeks. He looked a lot fresher and sharper. I think he's been rested. That 1 week break between games has definitely helped him. And you can see he was out the gate looking to score. 14th minute of the game, getting Watford's first shot on target. And that was significant because Watford normally on the road do not get any shots on target or get one very late in the game. But today, in the 14th minute, it was that man, Emmanuel Dennis, taking a really good shot at goal. Emi Martinez was sensational for Aston Villa today. He was just about the only one in a Villa shirt who really did put in an excellent performance, because had it not been for Mr. Martinez, Watford could have run out of Villa at least 4-0. And that is no exaggeration. Watford dominated large spells of this game after they slowly worked their way into the game. Their patience was the key. And as I called for in the Friday Focus, the key was going to be to soak up that pressure from Villa early on and then work your way into the game and start taking those opportunities when they came to you. Now, Watford in their ball possession were much better today. A lot of that is due to Imran Louser, who I and many other Watford fans have called to start these games. And Roy Hodgson, thankfully, has done that here. Very important performance there as well. Louser definitely one of the people I can understand why some fans have said is man of the match. He was very important, very influential in the game, but the tone was set by Dennis at the beginning, the middle, and the end of this match. Of course, he scored the goal, and I think was the 75th or so minute of the game, maybe the 76th minute, but we won't care about which minute it was as long as it came, because we had not had, prior to that goal, a really good pass, a great cross from Ismail Assar coming in close on the right side, a really beautifully weighted cross curling in, and in came Dennis. He was just waiting for that ball to come to him, and he attacked it and drove it home for a beautiful header into the back of the net past Mr. Martinez, who could not do a thing about it. And that really was it. Watford could have scored again. Tom Cleverley had a really good shot, saved by Martinez again. And Watford were absolutely doing what they had not been doing enough of, taking chances and having a really good shot at goal, especially on the road, where the chances are at a premium. But Watford scored their first goal since January 15th. First goal since January 15th. It's over a month ago. But it came, and it came at exactly the time we needed it, as other teams in and around us were winning games, winning very well, actually. Excuse me, Burnley, doing a really good job today for them. That was a very good win. Winning against the team we lost to last week. Now, look, these things change. Games are games. Things can be different. We know that. But this is an important platform today to build off of. And Watford players today were up for it. I think Samir was excellent today. Craig Cathcart also brilliant. Cathcart made a number of key clearances, really good headers. His positioning was excellent today. Samir's positioning, excellent today. Samir really dove in to the cause, didn't he? Put his head everywhere. I mean, he was brave. That was a brave defending performance by Samir. And I really love this central defensive pairing. I have called for it on UON's Twitter Spaces for it to stay as it is for several weeks now. You can see that when the SKK group came in, they've made a marked difference to the way this club is performing and the way this team is moving on the pitch. And of course, today, again, you see Samir once again has been absolutely rock solid. And Cathcart's game has improved as well, I think, because of Samir. Cathcart, I think, is now someone who I was really down on for much of this season. I think Cathcart has been rejuvenated here these last few games. And I think Samir has been a big factor in that too. But Cathcart is defending absolutely brilliantly. And you've seen it again today. Absolutely solid at the back there. That central defensive pairing. That is what has to be the central defensive pairing for the rest of this season. Samir and Cathcart together. They are on the same page. They've got the right understanding. There's good leadership in there with the two of them. They have marshaled that back line very, very well indeed. And I think now that Watford, listen, once they build off of this, there's no limits to this now. The home games are coming. And of course, we know Palace is coming up. But these games, as I keep saying, as I said last week when we lost to Brighton, these home games that we have remaining are very, very winnable games. Very winnable games. Brentford, Burnley, Leeds, Leicester, Everton. There's no reason why we can't win those games. There's no reason why, and Crystal Palace obviously as well. There's no reason, we've got Arsenal as well, but there's no reason why we can't win pretty much all of those games. I mean, really, there's no reason why we can't do it. And we have to continue to believe in this team. And yes, there will be bumps, there'll be bruises. And Lord knows Samir had enough of those today. Had to come off. Looked like he had a slight concussion. I don't know what the status of Samir is. I don't know if he'll play on Wednesday or not, but he did come off, looked very woozy coming off. But we'll see what happens there. And Dennis hobbled off as well. It's the only downside. Maybe it was just a slight knock. I don't know. We'll see if João Pedro can play on Wednesday. And look, I know Kuchka was out with a slight knock as well, but listen, Roy, you've got to keep Kuchka on the bench, no matter what his status is, because you saw how it worked today. You saw Lauza was a very important key in the game. Kayembe was on the bench as well today. You have to keep this as it is. I think, though, Roy probably makes a few changes, one or two tweaks against Palace, his old team. That will be something. And Will Hughes will be probably, if he's not injured, I know he was hobbled off last week. He'll make a return, of course, to Vicarage Road. And I'm sure Watford fans will give him quite a welcome. But as far as this game is concerned today, Villa looked a bit short of ideas for me. I don't think that Stevie Gerrard got it right tactically for the most part. I think he was looking at very desperate substitutions. Now, look, the Villa fans will probably say that that's not correct. But look, as far as I'm concerned, Villa did not look like scoring today. I mean, the nearest chance they had, which was a very, very good chance, was the big chance in that first half. The massive key of this game for me was the first half when Villa had Danny Ings one-on-one with Ben Foster in the Watford goal. And Ben Foster made himself big and Ings hit the post. That was the biggest moment of this game for me, because had Villa put that ball in the back of the net, it could have been a very, very different outcome. Now, look, in the Friday Focus, I made it very clear. I said yesterday that Watford would have to score this goal and then try to platform from it. And I felt that as long as Watford scored that first goal, they were going to be okay against Villa, because what would happen is that Villa were going to have to come out anyway and then start to attack and then leave gaps to the back. In fact, after the goal today, that's exactly what they tried to do. And they almost got caught out on the counter. And then they got caught very, very nearly, had it not been for that save from Martinez with that cleverly shot. And then, of course, we can go back now, but no one's going to go back and talk about the fact that Musa Sissoko did not square that ball. Now, he should have done it, and we would have been talking all about it today had we not got these 3 points. But Sissoko, and it's interesting because in the game where he did almost the same thing, this is so interesting how football is. In the game against Newcastle that we got a 1-1 draw out of, it was 1-0 Newcastle, and Sissoko smashed, I think it was actually, maybe it was 0-0, and Sissoko did this very same thing. He smashed the ball over the bar when he should have absolutely drove that ball into the back of the net against Newcastle at St. James's Park last month. And then I think Newcastle ended up scoring. But I don't know if it was either 1-0 we were trailing or it was 0-0. But Sissoko did the same thing in the game on January 15th, the last game we scored in before today, because João Pedro, of course, with that header, made it 1-1. Sissoko, similar today, a shot that he really shouldn't have taken, should have squared it. There were runners in the box. I think Josh King was in the box. I think one of either he or Dennis, and they probably would have finished that, would have buried that chance. And as a result, he hits it over, hits it to the wrong side of the post, this Sissoko. But later on, we would get the goal that we needed, our first in over a month, and our first win in 4 months. My goodness me, what a difference a win makes. We have to keep believing. And look, we have players now who look like they're up for it. This is going to give these players immense confidence. Make no mistake. This result today, this performance today, and the fact that we got 3 points from it and a clean sheet, Roy is second in his 4 games in charge, is going to give these lads a lot of confidence going into the game against Palace. They looked very lively today. Camara, pardon me. I think, listen, he's an unsung hero today. He did everything that you've asked of him. And the thing is, Camara now has become so good and so adept as part of the SKK group that, you almost take him for granted. I hate to say that you do, but Camara has been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he? I mean, he made the one mistake last week. He's only made one mistake since he come here. Come on now. We have a team that when they want to do this, they can do it. And they came out there today with belief. I love the way the first 20 minutes worked because we did soak up that Villa pressure as I knew we would. And the defensive composure was good. Our patience defensively was very good. We didn't make the rash challenges. There was one free kick that Tom cleverly gave up around the D late in the game, but thankfully it came to nothing. Look, I think the defensive discipline was exquisite today. All of the team tracked back. I think Saw tracked back a couple of times, made a couple of big headers out. Sissoko was a rock with some big defensive plays. He played a bit better today. In fact, he played a lot better today. I liked his movement. It seemed like they had a lot more energy today, Watford, overall. Obviously, the week between games certainly helped. But remember, this is the first, again, of a second stretch of 3 games in 8 days. Of course, the game on Wednesday against Palace at the Vic, and then a week from today at Old Trafford against Manchester United. You never know how this game and how this football is going to be. You just do not know. But tonight we celebrate a win, a really good one. Roy Hodgson got the sub spot on for me as far as that goes. I think the defense was excellent today. Lauza terrific in midfield. And of course, the front line actually really looked good today, didn't they? Really looked good, particularly Dennis and Saar. Saar, who really was quiet for much of this game, made the key impact, that moment of quality. That is going to keep us not only in this Premier League, but get us moving up the table. The final score again, Aston Villa 0, Watford 1, onwards and upwards. And this has been the Orns 10-minute take.